Zog and Zara were enjoying the last few hours of a well-deserved break after their latest Beamer-Vision concert. They were entertaining themselves, reminiscing about some of their past adventures. Zig recalled,
"Do you remember when we visited the invisible planet?"
Zara giggled. Zog joined in.
"Even when we arrived, we couldn't find it. So we had to use the steamer screen to make it visible. It still took 2 hours for the beam tracker to support our landing. And when we did, nobody even noticed we were there. That's something you don't see every day."
Zara sniggered. The conversation was suddenly interrupted when all three Spacelings' Visibands came to life at the same time. Looking down, they could see that it was the great wise Zed.
"Hello, sir,"
said Zara.
"It's good to hear from you."
Zed spoke.
My dear 3-star pupils, I hope you have all enjoyed your short break and are refreshed and ready for your next adventure.
"We have, sir. We've had a lovely time and are looking forward to whatever adventure is next,"
said Zog, speaking for all three Spacelings.
That's good to hear, because I would like you to visit the Academy of Early Learning on the planet Juvenescence, which, as you know, is positioned in the constellation Triangulum. I've already programmed your capsule for the shortest and safest route, but please check for any meteor showers on the way.
"Yes, sir,"
they all replied, trying to sound excited. Zed continued.
I know what you're thinking. Why are you returning to Juvenescence, as you passed your exams at the Early Learning Academy some time ago?
"Well, sir, I'm sure there is a good reason,"
Zig said positively.
There is,
answered Zed.
I expect you remember my dear old friend and your professor, the Grand Flabamaster. He's still working hard and remains the most respected teacher of early learning throughout the Universal Federation.
"Of course, sir,"
Zog said, speaking for all three Spacelings.
"We remember the professor with great affection. A remarkable teacher and a wonderful person. He made achieving house scholarships seem like fun and not hard work in any way.
Zog continued.
He was always telling the class."
Zog now changed his voice to do a complimentary impression.
"This is no school, no school for fools."
Zed carried on.
Well, he has a new young pupil called Ibby something or other, who is boondoggling at almost every opportunity.
Zig whispered to Zara.
"What is boondoggling?"
Zara whispered back knowingly.
"To deceive or attempt to deceive." Oh, yes, of course,"
whispered Zig, embarrassed that he didn't know. Zed explained.
The Grand Flabamaster relayed to me that he really believes in young Ibby and suspects he has great promise, but just cannot understand why he is acting the way he is. If he cannot find out why his behavior is so bad, he will have no option but to expel him from the academy. I suggested it would be a good idea if you visited, to see if you could speak with Ibby and try to help to get to the bottom of this problem.
Zara answered.
"It would be a pleasure, sir, and we'll do our very best to get to the bottom of the situation."
The Spacelings packed their bags and returned to their craft. Zig powered up, and with the capsule already programmed, the Spacelings were on their way in seconds, heading for the planet Juvenescence. Within hours, they arrived and immediately locked onto the beam tracker signal and slowly descended, landing safely. There to meet them was the Grand Flabamaster.
Welcome, my 3 beloved little graduates. It's wonderful to see you again, and thank you for coming at such short notice. I would also add, you've been marvelous ambassadors for the Academy,
said the Professor in an authoritative voice. Zog replied,
"We're only too pleased to be here, sir, and I hope that we can be of some help."
The Spacelings followed their old master into the lecture room. The motto of the Federation of Early Learning loomed large over the door. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Work hard, be happy, until one's heart is content. Once everyone was comfortable, the Professor began.
Three of our pupils, Ibby, Popalena, and young Mr. Schmoozie, are studying here at the moment. They are inhabitants of the planet, the Cat's Eye Nebula, which is a planetary nebula in the northern constellation of, Draco.
We've passed it many times, sir, but never visited,
Zara declared.
Well,
The professor carried on.
Ibby is the little troublesome one. He appears to be cheating on all of his exams. His classmates call him Ibby Fibby, as they believe he is also telling fibs all of the time. I do not condone the use of nicknames, and anyone I catch using them will be reprimanded.
What makes you think that Ibby is cheating, sir?
Zog inquired. The Flabamaster, putting his forefinger to his head, reflecting, said,
Let me think of an example. There have been several. Oh yes, in the latest exam, Mr. Schmoozie was 100% correct in all answers. Now young Ibby and Popalena's answers were identical. So they both achieved 90%. But when I was marking their exam papers where Popalena had answered question 9 with, I don't know, Ibby's answer to the same question on his exam paper was, neither do I.
All three spacelings were trying not to laugh. As Zig piped up,
It does appear that Ibby was perhaps copying Popalena's answers. What did he say when you asked him about it?
the Flabamaster said, sounding befuddled.
He was adamant he has never cheated at any time, and said he knew all the correct answers to all of the questions on that exam paper. I did test him there and then, with various other very difficult questions, and without any hesitation, he answered every question correctly. So all very, very puzzling.
Zog suggested.
I think it would be a good idea if we could speak with Ibby, Popalena, and Mr. Schmoozie to see if we can get to the bottom of what's going on.
The Flabamaster replied,
Excellent, very, very good. I will leave it with you. Should you need my help, please just ask.
We will, sir.
said Zog respectfully. Zara joined in.
Perhaps, sir, you could ask Popalena to come and meet us here in the lecture room.
Of course, I will. I'll arrange that immediately,
stuttered the professor. A short while later, Popalena arrived at the lecture room.
Hello, Popalena. We're the Spacelings. I'm Zara. This is Zig.
Popalena, interrupting politely, said,
And this is Zog. I'm such a big fan of yours and have seen all of your music concerts on Beamer-Vision. Oh, Zog, I think your voice is wonderful. Thank you,
he replied bashfully.
but the Spacelings are a team. One for all and all for one. So my voice is just a part of the sound of the Spacelings. Oh, yes, but what a wonderful part.
Popalena swooned. Zig whispered to Zara.
I think Zog has an admirer.
Just at that moment, the door flew open and in came a very confident Mr. Schmoozie.
Hi, everyone, be cool. I'm Mr. Schmoozie, but you can call me Schmooms.
But before Zara could continue,
We're the Spacelings.
Mr. Schmoozie interrupted and looking straight at Zara said,
No introductions needed, babe. I'm a big fan of yours. Not so much of your two little buddies here. But hang on, honey. Can you hear it? Is there a space capsule nearby? Or is that just my heart taking off?
Oh dear. Zara thought to herself,
What a load of old twiddle-twaddle. Pass me a cream custard pie so I can let him have it.
Zig whispered to Zog.
I think Zara has an admirer.
Zog quickly spoke up before Mr. Schmoozie piped up again.
We understand there are 3 of you studying here, and you are all from the planet the Cat's Eye Nebula.
You got it, Zog.
Mr. Schmoozie said in a patronising manner.
It's Zog, actually, Mr. Oozy. I mean, Mr. Schmoozie.
Yeah, cool. But just call me Schmooze.
Mr. Schmoozie replied. At that point, Ibby entered the room.
Here he is, Mr. Ibby Fib himself. Come join us, Fib.
Well, what do you think? Is Mr. Schmoozie really as cool as he thinks he is? Is Ibby really a fibber? Is Popalena's crush on Zog going to grow? Please click on the link below to go to part 2.